Hello, everyone, and welcome to Food for Life this week. I'm your host, Ashley Tresleen, if you don't know me. I am a personal chef and food educator. At least that's how I like to put it. I want to introduce you to my guest this week. Her name is Amanda DeNardo, and she has a really cool program on coaching and how to get our head right. We're going to talk about how maybe getting our heads a little right to see our family members and our friends, whether we're excited or not excited. Let's talk about that, because we all know sometimes seeing certain family members gets us a little, stressed out. And we want to enjoy the holiday season, of course. Look at me. You guys always laugh at me, and I get these messages about talking with my hands. I'm Italian. You guys got to get over that. So I want to thank everyone for your messages and letting me know that I signed off early because I wasn't feeling well. I am doing better, and I appreciate that. So I will not be signing off early this week. So my friend will be joining us right after these messages. Welcome, Amanda. How are you tonight?
Hello. And I talk with my hands too. So I guess we're just going to have a whole Italian.
Distract a whole bunch of people.
Come on now.
It's okay. They can deal with it. They just have to close your eyes and listen. That's
just
all
listen.
You got to do.
Just listen tonight. Yes. Thank you for having me, Ashley. I really appreciate being on and being able to share my passion and purpose. And I love what you do. So thank you.
I like the way you say it's passion and purpose. Now let's talk about the difference between those two, because I think a lot of people are very confused by those things.
This is so good. So when I think of purpose, right? Like we think that our purpose is outside of ourselves when it's absolutely like that nudge within. And I'm actually coaching on this next month inside my coaching school, aligning to that passion and purpose. And so often, like that purpose is hard. So we want to bury that purpose and hide behind all the excuses and the procrastination. And that's where we start to feel confused and stuck. So really, when you think about purpose, it's that inside job, doing that work to listen to that nudge that's guiding you, which then leads to that passion and that freedom and that beauty and that goodness, because you're giving your gift to the world.
Oh, I like that. That's so happy. Now, after I asked you a question, usually my first question for everyone is tell everyone who you are in your own words and what you do a little bit.
So my name is Amanda DeNardo. I am a former school counselor. I have my master's in education and counseling. I worked with kids for 13 plus years as a high school counselor. And I am a life coach for women, mindset, relationship. I really cover the gamut because mindset is just right life. So it's so funny because one of my former colleagues was like, "You're going to call yourself a life coach? Isn't that going to turn people off?" I'm like, "Well, when I serve you in your mind, the results lend itself to your life." So yeah, I'm a life coach. I serve and support women. I'm a speaker. I have a podcast, and I do have a coaching school where I coach on course topics each month. There's 4 modules each month where you get the actual teaching to conceptualize the work. Okay, yeah.
You're jumping ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, so, hey, what can I say?
Yeah, the good stuff. So, like you said before this, you worked in a school. And that's so wildly different than being a life coach, or was it?
It's different in so many ways because there's certain aspects that you kind of just have to do as far as being like an employee. So just bridging that gap between working for a school district and then now owning a business, becoming an entrepreneur is different. But working with kids and people is totally, again, my passion and my purpose. So it wasn't that much different. And in fact, I actually did a lot of coaching with students, and they'd be like, thank you.
What was your actual title when you worked at the school?
School guidance counselor, so school counselor.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
were a
Yes.
counselor. Okay.
Yep.
So what gives you that nudge? Like you said, like on your website, you talk about how you had this feeling that gave you a nudge down like this rabbit hole of learning mindset tools. Geez, I cannot talk today. Tools that like, spoke to you. What gave you that nudge in that direction?
So yeah, again, this aligns to just that knowing inside of us that even as young children, like I just knew I was meant to serve people at a young age. Part of my story, I grew up in a home where there was domestic violence and alcoholism, and I would always like eavesdrop on these conversations or problem solve in my mind. Like, why is there so much chaos? This is simple to solve. Problem solving with my Barbie dolls, right? My friends would always look to me for advice, and they would always applaud me for kind of modeling the kind of advice that I would also, give to them. So, anyways, that is where the journey has taken me. And again, if you would have ever told me that I would be launching a podcast, owning my own business, like I would have never believed that. But there was something calling me. So here I am.
That's great. So not the other stuff, but it's great that you felt to be called to help other people.
Yeah.
So how did you start to see like results? Because those mindset tools, like what did you learn from them?
So when I had my son, before I had my son, my sister was struggling with addiction, and I was just in that controlling, stressing, anxiety-ridden place. I was skin and bones, right? I was just like losing it, and it was manifesting itself into all areas of my life. So that's where I started diving into personal development. I got pregnant. I had my son, and then I started doing some like not nutrition coaching, but fitness coaching, which wasn't really my wheelhouse. But it called me to step outside my comfort zone. So by not only applying some of the work that I've learned and taking this action, that propelled me to find mentors. I stumbled upon coaching. I'm like, this is amazing. It's just so like beautiful to look back at the journey and see how it all kind of came together. Yeah.
Now at home, you said you were skin and bones and you were stressing. When you started putting this stuff into practice, did your family and friends start to see a difference in you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. This is why coaching is so powerful, because it lends itself to that almost like that boomerang effect, right? When you're showing up at this higher quality self and this true self place versus that fear-based place, the stressing, the anxiety, the despair, it comes back to us because people have no choice but to meet you where you're at, right? So if you're up here and they're like, okay, I'll join you. Yeah.
So from the time you started like down this road of using these mindset tools, adding them to your life, starting to see results, how long did it take you to jump into your business?
So I was, probably a good year of really consciously doing this work, creating that awareness, which is what I teach on, and then again, conceptualizing, applying. And again, taking action isn't comfortable, right? So a lot of that is moving through discomfort. So starting to see those results provide us with the evidence. So once I started seeing the evidence of more give and take in my life, less sleepless nights, all of those little baby compounding results, led me to really wanting to serve others. And that's where I decided I'm going to launch a website and call myself a coach. I mean, I did some certification programs, I did some trainings, but the big action step was saying, hey, here's my website and there's my title.
Okay, let's be clear. We cannot just call ourselves life coaches. I think that's the miscommunication people have. I think they think that you can just say, okay, I'm a life coach and I'm going to help you.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's totally I mean, I spent hours and hours doing training programs, listening to my mentors, right? Like, probably have read over hundreds of self-development books that teach on a lot of these concepts. Yeah.
So, what's the development like part of these tools that you use the most in your own life?
It's really the awareness piece, being able to watch my mind, because our brain loves to default to all of the negative thoughts. Like, like, Ash, you think about, you line up 100 people, right? 99 of them say you're great and wonderful. One person says you stink. Whose thought do you focus on all day long?
Of course, that person.
So watching my brain so I can override those default thoughts so that I'm living more of that full human experience. There's still human emotions we need to feel. Like, we don't want to bury all of the emotions because they're going to come back up. But just really being able to live that full human experience and not constantly defaulting to the negative, because that's where we feel so exhausted and just burnt out.
Yeah, my mind's been having a field day the last few weeks, gearing up for the holidays and getting things done and dealing with some personal stuff. And my mind's, it's just been talking to me very loudly in the background.
Which it loves to do. It sure does.
You keep trying to be like, quiet,
Quiet.
quiet. And then it's screaming at you while you're trying to sleep.
And this is not unique to you. This is human beings, right? This is why it's so important to do this work. Yeah.
You know what I find interesting is I find every business owner I know says that when they lay in bed at night, their brain cannot shut off, and that is going in a circle, and they hear those same thoughts.
That is where, like, that cyclical pattern of thoughts, feelings, actions, results, it's so hard to break. And then we start to feel stuck and blocked, because like, to cut that off, it takes a little bit of work. And I tell my clients, it's hard until it's not. It's like working a muscle, right? You don't just do it on a Monday. You show up and you build that muscle. You train, you clean up your diet, you do the cardio, all the things, right?
It's never fun trying to like work on those thoughts or anything. And like you said, you still have to work on that awareness because it's human nature, right?
So human. Yep. So human.
When are we going to get a cure for that? Or
Coaching.
Yeah, I know, right? So how do you help your clients get the best results? Is it I know you have your school and you have each module that they work through, but when you're doing private stuff with people, is it individualized or is there something you always follow?
I do have a framework, because the first step is the awareness, and then it's the conceptualization and application, and then it's really the process, the action, the compounding, pen to paper. What do I want to say? Oh gosh, just like the repetitiveness, the consistency of it, right? That builds the confidence and competence. So there is a framework that I follow, but it's pretty individualized. So we take whatever circumstance and we break that down and we create the awareness, and I coach your brain, and we do some work.
So do you do this to your family? Like you know how psychiatrists kind of like shrink their family? Do you like tell this to your kids or your husband and be like, okay, you're not being aware today. Have you like thought about your thoughts and kind of things?
Well, this is where coaching is more like, I call myself like a professional question asker, because I can't just tell you what to think and believe, right? You have to be
Mhm.
able to reach for those neutral thoughts that up level the thinking and override those default thoughts. But my husband does tell me that I Miyagi him often.
Wait, is it to get what you want, or is it to help
Well,
you?
I mean, so it's so funny because a lot of my clients, that's something with relationships, right? Like we want to, often we want to kind of fill that void in our relationships. It's almost like if and when, right? If you do this for me, then I get to feel happy. When you do this for me, then like we just get to be kumbaya together, right? But we can't
Mhm.
control other people. But by doing this work, watching our brain and giving ourselves the feelings that we want to feel and taking action from that place, you end up getting the results that you want without controlling that person. So that's why it's called Miyagiing.
Well, as long as he's okay with it, then it's totally fine.
It works. No.
Hey, I'm all for whatever works to get the job done, and who couldn't use like more work on their relationships? Now, you have something, I saw this quote on your website that I found very interesting, and I have it written down here. It says, "This is not some esoteric gift that only certain people get to have." So, what do you mean by that? Is it just, go ahead, take it from there.
So I think what our brain likes to do is we love to default to that outward place, that comparison place. Like this person gets to have that awareness. This person gets to have the life of all this goodness flowing to them. This person gets to do the mindset work and get the results. I just can't. So it's almost like you can't teach this old dog new tricks type of mentality that I think a lot of us may show up with, because this work is calling you to become a new version of you, right? It's pulling you out from this safe cave that you like know and are so comfortable in, to a new cave that is like a little uncertain, right? So that's what I mean by that. Everybody gets to do this work if you have a brain and you don't have some sort of brain issue, right? Like, or a cognitive impairment or a brain injury. You absolutely can do this work and start seeing the results.
Have you ever worked with anyone that has had like impairments or had like cognitive issues, like a brain injury that has asked for your help?
I have not that I can think of. I have a lot of my clients who have processing delays, um, but not a significant, neurological injury or issue. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how coaching a brain like that would turn out.
The idea behind coaching is that when you are becoming aware of the thought and then shifting and then taking action, you are strengthening new pathways.
Hmm.
So you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Only if they want to learn, right?
Well, that's just it. And that's where the women that come to me, my clients who come to me, they're open. Their hearts are open this much to doing this work. And they have free will. So,
Well, you would hope so.
right, right.
So, are these women asking for more personal help or help with their business, or just in general, do you help with all aspects of their life?
Yeah. So this is why I launched the coaching school, because I love serving women who, again, and I mostly serve women, but I've been able to take on male clients as well. I love being able to coach on anxiety and purpose and clarity and confidence, because it's so all connected. Decision making, right? So much of what women are coming to me for, it all connects, right? If you are stuck in your business, there might be something in terms of your confidence, your decision making, right? There's some core beliefs there that are keeping you from really being able to take different actions. So yeah, so I see a lot of variations in terms of circumstances, but so much of it is because of that fear-based brain that's dug its heels in.
Interesting. So, we've gone over the impeccable coaching school, and you had started to talk about which each module is. So, why don't we start going a little deeper into that then?
Yeah, so each month I coach on a course topic. There's 4 modules, just teaching modules with pen to paper resources to apply the teachings. And then each week I offer live coaching. So whoever's on that call can get live coached. It's really powerful to even watch someone else get coached because your brain starts thinking about your circumstance. So it's been so powerful to be able to offer this on a larger scale for people who are interested in coaching.
Oh, I've never thought about watching somebody else. It's kind of like watching somebody else's therapy session.
Yes, but it's because coaching is about what's next. You're not spending a ton of time in the past. It's taking that circumstance, becoming super aware of the thoughts, being able to coach them on that thinking, those core beliefs. It's almost like pulling them out of the closet and reorganizing.
So you're like the home edit people.
Yeah, I'm like a Marie Kondo for your brain.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, there you go. So how do people take part in the school?
So you can sign up through my website. I offer 2 different forms of enrollment. You can enroll with a monthly payment or you can pay all at once, but you have 12 months access to all 12 course topics and 12 months of weekly coaching with me. So you can sign up through my website, check it out. All the details are there.
So do you limit the number of clients you take on, or are you still taking on clients?
I still take on one-on-one clients that will eventually taper off as the school grows. So, but I do love the one-on-one environment with my clients. So I really do value that and love it. So I don't know if I could totally give it up.
You definitely like people and you
I
love
love
talking to them. I think you enjoy hearing people's stories.
Absolutely. So beautiful when we can be vulnerable and share. And I love bringing women together to do that as well. And it's so powerful because you start to see that your journey is very similar to someone else's, or we're all kind of on this collective journey of life that is good and bad.
So you also have an event that you do once a year, is it? That's connected to your business. Tell us a little bit about that, or a lot of bit about that. Tell us
Yes.
everything. I want to know everything.
Okay, good, because it's coming up in January and I can't even believe it's already November, so time's ticking. So we offer this high value woman event. It's a conference style event for women that my co-founder and I, Ashley, created back last January. We launched our first event. So the idea is that we'll have 2 events a year because we had another one in August, but it just brings women together. We have speakers, we dance, we laugh, we come together, we network. And it's just such a beautiful space. I think women come in and feel like these are like my sisters. These are women that that are here to support. We're all here to grow and to learn and to get better. So the environment in and of itself is just really, really powerful.
So what can people expect when they come to the event?
So we offer up, again, some bubbly, some beautiful meal and appetizers and that connection. We have vendors that come, female-owned businesses that feature their products. So there's a way to just engage with other fellow business owners if you are a business. Again, networking time. And then again, we have a featured high-value woman speaker. We have breakout sessions, a beautiful like brunch, I said, and then we wrap it up with some dancing and some good collaboration, and it's fabulous. Yes.
Dancing?
We do a little dancing. Yep, a little bit.
You're a big fan of dancing on your Instagram. You dance around your kitchen quite a bit or wherever you are, right?
Listen, it's so funny because we resist happiness in so many ways. Just dancing releases serotonin and dopamine. Why would you not do that? Jump on a trampoline, walk, go for a quick walk, right? There's so many ways that we can get those quick hits of those feel good chemicals, and we resist them so often.
Why do you think we do that?
It just because it calls us to exert some energy, right? To put on the music and get yourself in a forward moving action to dance around your kitchen. Take some energy.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you watch me cook to my kitchen, when I had a dog, it was less weird, but I do talk to myself on occasion while I'm cooking. So at least when I had a dog, you could say you were talking to your dog, but I talk to myself on occasion because I'm so used to talking to a camera or having to do media events that like sometimes I realize I'm talking out loud while I'm like narrating what I'm doing.
I love it. Does it make you feel good?
Um, it makes me feel a little crazy that I'm talking to myself while I'm completely alone in my house.
Hey, listen, if there's a little bit of feel goodness in that, you just run with it, girl.
So this is coming up in January, your event. How can people sign up?
So we'll launch ticket sales fairly shortly. We like to offer like a little flash sale, so that'll be on Black Friday. So if you follow my Instagram, I will likely be sharing all of the High Value Woman event info there, and then you'll be able to get the link on our High Value Woman page, which again you can find through my Instagram.
Where are you looking to take your business in the next couple of years?
So my mission is to serve hundreds and thousands or millions of women. So speaking events, I do have my podcast, but yeah, really scaling my coaching school so that I can just serve as many people as possible and transform lives.
So your podcast, I was only able to listen to the first few episodes because I am so behind on my podcast. It's unbelievable. Usually I listen to stuff while I walk, but I haven't been able to get out as much. So tell me what prompted you to start that.
I love that question because it's so funny how, again, our brain loves to create all the drama. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard to start a podcast. It was so simple, like in so many ways, right? It's just the mind drama that shows up. But I was writing a book prior to COVID, and then COVID hit, and I couldn't get out to kind of work on the book out of my home, just to be like super present without my kids around. So I had about 7 chapters, and I said, you know what? I don't know why I don't feel called to continue writing this, but I feel like I could speak it. So I did some recording, and that was the initial start of the podcast. I kind of knew the vision for it, but I started with that, and here we are. I have a podcast.
So this is what you were writing in the book, and you're using it as your podcast. So you got a book on tape, basically.
Book on tape. Yeah, in so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that works. So why were you writing a book? Like, was that something like a goal of yours, or is it just something you felt like you needed to do?
Yeah, so I love writing. So I figure why not? Like, why not put this on paper? Again, I've watched my life transform because of the work that I've done. So being able to speak to not only my experience as a counselor, but apply that with the transformative coaching work. I thought that the world needed a little bit of that. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about helping people gear up for the holidays. Where do you think people should start?
Oh, this is good. I'm actually coaching on the relationships inside of my coaching school this month. It's so funny because I know boundaries is, if you follow any thought leaders or coaches, right? Like that's such a big word. But I think the place to start is letting go of expectations. We show up to the relationship table, we show up to the Thanksgiving table, the Christmas table, whatever it may be, and we have thoughts and expectations, whether they're excited expectations or nervous, anxiety-ridden type of expectations of what could be, right? The uncertainty of life, the uncertainty of people, places, things, all of it, right? We show up with these expectations, and expectations, it's whether they're nervous or excited, it's the opposite side of the same coin. You're in all of life's uncertainty, in the spaces of being with family, being in the holiday season. There's so much we can't control. So there's likely going to be disappointment. or resentment on the other side of some of those expectations that we set.
I mean, it's kind of like something that's a big deal, like New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day or whatever, something that's supposed to be this big, wonderful celebration, and you see it in movies. It never turns out like a movie, and you're usually eating pizza with friends, watching movies or playing games, right?
It's so true. Where do we believe that life is supposed to be this fairy tale, like adrenaline rush, like magical every single moment, right? Where did that messaging come from? Because that's a big fat lie.
Maybe all those holiday movies we've all
I mean,
watched.
yeah. So you show up with these expectations, and then you're set up for disappointment and resentment, which creates this bitterness.
So if you get past that, how can you enjoy the holidays without having issues?
So the
minor issues. I mean,
the antidote to expectations is setting your own intentions. That's the only thing that we have control over, right? Our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our intentions. How do you intend to show up at your holiday events? How do you intend to engage with family, friends, people in the stores, passerbys on the street as you're driving, and there's road ragers everywhere?
I guess that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So do you maybe want to share what your intentions are for the holidays, or would you not like to?
My intention right now is to keep my eyes above the circumstances. And I think in that space, I really always try to intend to see people's hearts. Sometimes allowing myself to just fully step into that allows for the recognition that some people's results, if they're showing up angry or bitter, or there's this lack of connection, or they're blaming or shaming or judging, there's some thoughts there that we can create some empathy for. So that's my intention, to kind of just see hearts and see above the circumstance.
So do you host your Thanksgiving, or do you go somewhere?
We actually, we go to family. Yeah, I've never hosted Thanksgiving. I do. I think I would with your help some year.
Yes, I can help you some year. I can help you through all the steps.
Okay. I think, you'll have to be my my sidekick.
Oh, that's too funny. But yeah, I feel like you would be someone, you guys have such an amazing family and network of people around you here. What Amanda's not telling you is her husband's family owns this amazing pizza place. So Amanda's always surrounded by food.
And meanwhile, I'm like not a pizza person, but
That's okay. Nobody says that you have to be.
Yeah. But no, we're very blessed. We have a beautiful family. So
Thank you. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet?
Mm-hmm. Have you?
I've bought 2 things for the 2 babies in the family that are, I can say it because none of them watch me, so it's totally fine. Gotta love your family, right? I buy for every new baby in the family. One of my favorite things is putting my baby's first Christmas ornaments on our Christmas tree. So any new baby in the family, I always buy them a baby's first Christmas for them to have as they get older.
Beautiful. That's so, I love that. The heartfelt, thoughtful gifts. And I'm not good with that.
No.
Maybe that should be my intention.
So do you have to do the whole Santa thing, or no?
Yes, part of me wishes I never started that, to be honest. I know a lot of my colleagues in the coaching world, they do not do the whole Santa thing, but
oh, really?
Yeah, just because, again, beliefs, right? Like, we're telling our kids to believe in Santa, and then like, what else are they going to believe that might be fiction in their brain, right? But someday the
fun childhood, like,
I know,
as horrible as it should be.
Yes, yeah, it's so funny because one of my former students actually said that. He said, life just got, I don't know how he framed it, but just basically life went downhill once I found out there was no Santa. I said, "Oh my gosh, I mean, I guess that does probably happen, right?"
Wow, life went downhill at like what, 8, 9 years
I
old
know.
when people find out that there's no Santa.
I said, "Oh my goodness." But, yeah, so we'll see. I like practical gifts. What do we need, right? We're so consumed in material things. I'm much more of an experience type of gift giver. Even with my husband, we'll do a trip or do something. Yeah.
I do that with my friends now. I mean, what are we gonna buy each other? We have nothing
It's
to buy.
I know,
So
I
we
know.
usually opt for a night out, and so my friends with kids will love that.
So good. Yeah, yeah. So much more soul filling than things.
Unfortunately, usually that happens after the holidays because everyone's so busy with their families and things.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Um, so when you're moving forward now, we talked about all the fun things that you guys have. Do you have any favorite holiday memories? I've been asking people this lately.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's such a good question. I think so. It's so funny because I don't think with The Wizard of Oz is really a Christmassy movie, but I kind of associate Christmas with that. I remember s-
I think they
sitting
play
with
it on Thanksgiving.
I think they might play it on TV around those times of year. I don't know. But I just remember being with my family, like after, taking a shower, putting like my feety pajamas on and sitting by the fire watching The Wizard of Oz. And I just, when you could just like almost smell that moment. I don't know why it still stays with me. Yeah.
Do you have one with your kids? Do you have like a tradition or favorite holiday moment with them?
You know what? It's so funny because I'm saying I don't love the whole Santa thing, but they wake up and open their gifts and they're, "Thank you, Santa. Thank you, Santa." So just their sweet expressions and voices, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
That's so sweet. All I keep thinking about is like when I was a little kid and I would wake up for Santa and my dad would be more excited than me. And now I know why. Because they probably were up all night putting stuff together and trying to sneak presents out.
Yeah, of course, right? Do you
So,
love do you love what your little elf mom and dad brought you?
so your husband's family is Italian. Is your family Italian too?
My grandmother was all Italian, yeah. Yeah, on my dad's side, so I have a little
So do you
Italian.
keep up with the Italian traditions through Christmas?
Yeah, my husband's family does all the fishes on Christmas Eve, and of course, there's always some sort of pasta dish included. Even on Thanksgiving, there's lasagna or cannelloni or
Yeah, that's always the funniest thing. Everyone asks me, like, what do Italians have for Thanksgiving? They have turkey and there's a lasagna somewhere.
oh yeah, and you're so full from the lasagna, you don't want anything else because they
But
serve
you
that
have
first.
everything else for turkey. Like, you don't understand why. There's a whole big thing of like, I don't know. It's just what we do.
It's hey, listen, it's all part of the fun.
It is. I'm so happy you could join me today.
Thank you so
Is there
much.
anything you want to share? Little last words, parting things? You have about a minute. You can share everything.
No, I think I just want to thank you. Thank you for being a inspiration to me as a fellow woman entrepreneur. And yeah, I really truly believe that we get to have it all. And it just takes a little work up here, I promise.
Well, we're going to follow her on IG. And here's her website. So make sure you guys go and follow Amanda and see everything. Sign up for her school if what she does sounds appealing to you, or if anything she says, yes, please do it. Amanda, have a good night.
Thank you, my dear. I can't wait to see you soon.
Talk to you later. All right. Wasn't that great? It was so nice to have Amanda with me. And I'm going to play one of our commercials from one of our sponsors, and then I will be in the kitchen after that. Yeah, right. Let's see what we got.
Hi, I'm Liz Teresa. I help women launch and build online businesses they love.
I needed to give my brand a web presence, but I didn't speak tech. Enter Liz Teresa. With lightning speed, she got the essence of my brand. Her guidance notes, her tips were practical and concrete.
She's the #1 person in my life. I'm so happy she came to me.
So thank you, Liz Teresa. I am so excited to keep working with you.
Hi everyone, we are back and in the kitchen, and the lighting is just a little bright. Give me a second. Pause, please. There we go. Much better. Look, you can see me now. Here I am thinking I adjust everything, and then I adjust everything for the time of day we start. Then forgetting now it's going to be pitch black when we get to the cooking segment. I should account for the time change. And those of you that don't have to change time, I am so happy for you because now it has screwed up our whole week. So this week, I'm going to start by making a very simple sweet potato dish. Since we're going to be talking Thanksgiving all month long. So what do you guys like? What are you guys looking for? I feel like, we talked a little bit about turkey prices last week, and that is a big deal. Turkey prices are definitely up, and they're definitely coming, for us for the holidays. But my sweet potato dish is so easy and so delicious. You'll love it. Now, the reason I signed off last week is I've been having some issues. I'm a chef that's having trouble eating stuff. So I've been thinking about the most gentlest things you guys can eat for people with dietary restrictions and things. So we're going to work on a sweet potato soup. So I have about 2 or 3 sweet potatoes that we are going to cut up. I just have the filling here. That's super easy. You can cook them however you want. Roast them, microwave, whatever gets the filling done, right? Squish. Oh, look at that bad boy. And you can almost smell how candied and delicious this is. Oh, you won't even need any syrup. All right. So I'm just going to peel it. We don't want any skins in our soup, right? So it can be more of a soup type texture, or you can turn it into a puree, which I always think purees at the holidays are just divine. Now, I have a little piece of ginger here, this cute little piece of ginger, and I'm going to just cut off the dry end, and then I'm going to show you how to peel the little guy the easiest way possible with my spoon. And the reason I have the gloves on is just I don't want to touch my eyes. Like after you have ginger and stuff, if you touch your eyes, it can burn your eyes, kind of like jalapenos. But ginger is really good for your digestion. It's good for your immunity. Totally perfect. All right. So I'm peeling it right here, just like this. And look, see? Took off the papery skins perfectly. And the best part of all that is by doing this, you're not taking off any of the ginger part, and you're not wasting any. Because when you do it with a knife, you end up taking off part of the ginger, and you end up wasting stuff. And who wants to waste things? I know I don't. All right. I'm going to leave it chunked because I like it that way, because when you're cooking, it works out really well. Alrighty. We got the little nub done. It's about, I would say, roughly an inch kind of thing right here. And we're going to toss it into our pot. All right, in you go. Now, our puree here is going to be a sweet potato puree. We're going to do some salt and pepper. And there is some veggie stock in there. I have about a half a cup. And now I just mashed it a little bit, and we're going to add this in. All right. The best part is I'm adding about a half a cup of milk of choice. You can leave it a more mashed texture. You can also turn this into a base of a soup. You can make this basically anything you want. You can add fresh herbs to this. But it's the most beautiful thing ever. So we're going to turn our pot on. Perfect. Get it to medium. There we go. And now we're going to stir it. Give it a stir. What are some of your other favorite Thanksgiving flavors other than ginger? Maybe a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg. Look, see it all nice starting to combine in there. Ooh, so yummy and creamy. There we go. Mix, mix, mix. So that's going to cook on the stove on a very low temp. I'm going to add some water so it doesn't get too thick. Just a touch of water, just so things don't get too thick. Burner's acting funny. All right. So what do you think? Maybe a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg. What are your favorite things to eat on Thanksgiving? Is it the mashed potatoes? Is it the stuffing, gravy, turkey? What's your main event? I want to hear from you. You guys tell me. I love hearing these things. My favorite, I love a good smooth mashed potato. Can't have too many lumps. I love green beans and a really good stuffing. If you gave me a plate full of that, I know it's all starch. Mostly. I'd be so happy. Yes. Look how beautiful. I know. Can you see through the steam? Perfect. Oh, I can smell the ginger. It's making aroma through my nose. Perfect. So you can also make this as a base, as a really lively base for like a sweet potato casserole of your choice. It's kind of nice to have the spices in the bottom instead of making it just kind of plain sweet potatoes. And I know that everyone has different toppings they like to put, whether it's marshmallows or crumbles or chopped up nuts, whatever you want. But I think sometimes when we spice things up and we give it a little flair, it just gives a different level and dimension to things. So I think we should have a little bit of level and dimension. What are you thinking? Should we make a topping for it or not? Yes? No? Thumbs up? Somebody answer? Yes? No? Maybe? Say it isn't so. All right. I know. Nobody's listening. All right. So we got it to the point where it's almost like whipped potatoes. And that's actually delicious. If you ever want to get your potatoes super whipped, put them through a ricer and then put them through like a paddle mixer. Oh, you'll get the best whipped potatoes ever. All right, I'm going to add in some extra spices now. Here we go. Pinch of salt. Haha. I was looking for some nutmeg. So I have some nutmeg here. Nutmeg is the unsung hero. Oh, excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze. Nutmeg is the unsung hero of the holidays. You can add a pinch to things like celery root and roasted veggies. It goes in pies. A little pinch in your gravy or sauteed greens brings out the flavor. Nobody knows how much heavy lifting nutmeg really does. It's not just for those pumpkin spice lattes and those pumpkin pies. So we'll put in a pinch of nutmeg. And when I mean a pinch, I mean a pinch. Nutmeg is a very strong spice, and way too much nutmeg can totally ruin a dish. Have you ever had one of those store-bought pumpkin pies that has way too much seasoning in it? Trust me, you do not want that. Alrighty. Perfect. Mix it in. Oh, it's starting to smell like holidays in this house. I literally, if you could make a candle and have it smell like that, I would buy 1,000 of them. Making your house smell like the holidays all year round. I mean, come on, who doesn't want that? Now, cinnamon, yay, nay. Cinnamon is pretty much my favorite spice when it comes to savory and sweet, because I think people underestimate using cinnamon in savory dishes. So it's pretty good. Just like nutmeg, cinnamon can be used in things like chilies and stews and sauces, and it brings out such vibrancy in things. So I'm going to put a pinch of cinnamon in and see what we got. All right, pinch of cinnamon, if I can. Pinch of cinnamon. Look, mixing it all in. Oh, can you guys smell that? I know you can't smell it, but look at the beautifulness, the creamy, delicious beautifulness. So one thing I will tell you, since I said I use stock for this, make sure you stock up on stock for the big day. Here we go. Oh, I'm so gonna eat this for dinner tonight. Now, we will be talking more turkey stuff next week. We'll be talking something really cool and creative I have that I want to share with you. And I also want to remind you, before I say goodbye, that our holiday boxes that we talked about last week with Ashley Epperson, here is the link. Please, please, please go get your pre-orders in. You don't want to miss the boat. Pre-orders make sure that you'll get delivery during the week before Christmas so that you can get those Christmas gifts in and you can get them for Hanukkah. Please. Now, thank you all for tuning in today, and thank our guest, Amanda DeNardo. Wasn't she so much fun? Getting our heads right can get us so many different things in life. Now, go check out her school. If you're interested, we had all of her tags up earlier. So go check that out. And until next week, everyone, let's get ready for the holidays.